Hello children and welcome back to school. Welcome back with our online, that is e-education. As per the government, we are not yet to begin with our regular school. So we are going to continue with our teaching learning process with our e-education, that is our online education. Okay, so let us begin with our second term. Now let us begin with our second term means, if you remember, we have just completed with our first term portion, right? We have done with our first assessment, and standard 7 for our first assessment we had the first 5 lessons. And now with a new vision, with a new hope and with a new motto to begin and to continue and to check our progress, we are going to start with our second term. And for second term, we have the next 5 lessons, which begins from lesson number 6, natural region. So today we are going to start with our lesson 6. Lesson 6, natural regions. In this video 1, we will have part 1 and part 2. And we are going to cover some of the important natural regions of the world. Now, as you can see on your screen, the 7 continents of the world: North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. Each continent has its some important points, some important natural factor, and every continent stands out with it. Along with this continent, there are some natural regions of this continent. So the different natural regions of the world according to the latitudinal extent. Latitudinal extent means starting from the North Pole, coming to the equatorial, that is from the 90° north to 0° equator, and from 90° south to 0° equator. We are going to study the various natural regions. If you see, in all there are 13 natural regions based on the different features or different factors. But in our 7th standard, we are going to study 9 important natural regions of the world. So let us understand which are these 9 important regions and what are these 9 natural regions of the world, and let us understand about the meaning of natural region. So I, teacher Shikal Gonsalves, welcome you once again, and let us continue with our lesson 6, natural regions. Well, to begin with, in your textbook, your geography textbook, lesson number 6, natural regions, page number 30 and 31. This is an introductory part where some pictures are given to you relating with housing, clothing, flora and fauna, and food. And you have to look at that picture and tick the picture according to the index given on page 31. So what is the index? So the index says that if you have experienced, or if you have used this thing from this picture, like suppose say the food you have eaten or the clothing you have worn, so you have experienced it, you have used it, you have to put a tick mark. If you have seen any monument, if you have seen any structure, if you have seen any person, any animal, you put a star mark. And if you do not know anything about it, you put a cross mark, because you have never seen, you have never experienced it, you have never used it. Okay, so according to this, we are going to fill this chart in your textbook itself, and you are going to do it on your own. It's very simple. Like you can see the first housing, you have a tree house, then you have skyscraper buildings, you have house made with ice, that is igloo, you have bungalow, then you have house which is made with some thatch, you can say the bamboos or roof, then you have a house made with mud and mud roof, then you have mud houses which are made with thatched, and so you must have seen skyscrapers, you must have seen bungalows, you must have experience, you must have stayed, you must have even visited some tree houses, you must have even visited in your villages, and you must have stayed in the village houses. But igloo, Definitely you must have seen in the picture, but you must have never experienced it. You must have never experienced this small huts and all. Okay, so you just have to think, what have you experienced? Similarly, regarding with clothing, see what are there, tick whether you have experienced it, or if you have seen it, or if you have never heard about it. Animals, flora, fauna, right? Like animals, if you can see what is given over there, you have polar bear, you have penguin. So we have never seen polar bear and penguin in a real life, but definitely in pictures and in books you have seen. Okay, but definitely camel we must have seen. You must have even taken a camel ride. Coconut tree you must have seen, but you must have never seen a cactus plant in reality, or you must have never seen a wild fox, or you must have never seen an animal which you have never. Okay, similarly food, thali, definitely each one of us, we have varieties of food in our house. Pizza you must have eaten. Varieties of dishes are there. South Indian foods you can see. Fish are been served, right? Again you have a nice Maharashtrian thali. Okay, you have non-veg thali, you have burgers, you have dry fruits, you have the Onam special food. So you just have to tick right or a star or a cross mark if you have experienced it, if you know about it, or if you do not know about it. Because when you will do this, then only you will understand. Now why I am telling you to do it? Because to know about the natural region, these are the things which you have to understand first. Now why you have to understand first this thing? So I will read out a paragraph from your textbook, page number 30. And after I finish reading with the paragraph, I will continue with your geographical explanation. So on page number 30, the questions which are given below the question, the paragraph states that there exists a large number of different things in the world than those we see in our surroundings. We see different educational and informative TV programs about wildlife. We become curious to know more about this wildlife, right? We see many things around our surroundings. We can see the flora and fauna, we see clothing, we see housing, we see educational programs, everything. But sometimes there are few things which we are not aware of, we don't see in our surroundings. Just like the polar bear and penguin. You will not see the polar bear and penguin in our surroundings. Okay, but you will see camel, you can see horses, you can see dogs and all. So there are few things which you will not see in your surroundings. So there are some questions that why is this wildlife not seen in our area? Why are they not similar to the things in our area? And what causes these differences? So let us understand that what are the differences. So that is the reason the pictures are given to you on top. You just have to take it, and based on this we are going to continue with the lesson. So let us understand what are the differences about this wildlife, or about the natural vegetation, or about the natural surroundings in our areas. So what is the geographical explanation telling us? There are differences in terms of landforms, climate, soil, etc. in different parts of the world. This differences is mainly due to the availability of sunlight and water in that region. Yes, differences in terms of landform, because all of us, we do not stay in plain region, or we don't stay only in plateau region. There are people who stay in mountainous region, there are people who stay in valleys, there are people who stay in polar region, there are people who stay near the equatorial region. Climate of every region differs. Soil, that is the mud, in every region is different in different parts of the world. And why it is so? It is due to the availability of sunlight. Yes, sun is one. Okay, it gives sunlight to the whole world. But some part of the world receives direct sunlight, some part do not receive direct sunlight. It receives slanting sunlight, just like near the poles, right? So the availability of sunlight is also important for the natural growth, and also water, availability of water. In many parts of the world, rainfall is abundantly there, but in some part of the world there is no rainfall. There are hailstones are there, there are sandstorms are there. Okay, water availability is not proper. So these are the things which differ from one region to another region. Now, the availability of sunlight and water keeps on changing from the equator to the poles, and you have studied this in the previous standard also. So difference in landform, climate and soil greatly influence the flora, fauna and human life, and it gives rise to variations in the biodiversity in different parts of the world. So the difference of landform, difference in climate, difference in availability of soil and water, difference of the flora and fauna, that is the plants life, the animals which are there, right? the aquatic animal life, all these, and even the human life, you will not find same type of human, or you'll not find people speaking same languages, people wearing same clothing, people eating same food. No, there are difference in the skins of the people, right? Some of them are whitish skin, some are there with black skin, some are there with brown. So it differs. This gives variation. That is, differences are there in the biodiversity in different parts of the world. Now, on the other hand, there are also similarities of climate, okay, vegetation and animal life. Yes, ships are found in India, ships are found in Pakistan also, ships are found in Australia also. But there will be some difference in the climatic change. Okay, vegetation, coconut trees are in India also, coconut trees are in Pakistan also. But there will be a little change in the type of the coconut trees. So there are some difference and similarities in the different continents that spreads from certain latitude, that is from 90 degree to the 0 degree latitudinal extent. So this similarity stand out as the distinctive features of this region. And as this region stand out on the basis of natural factors, they are called as the natural region. So keeping this natural environment of this such region and affecting the living world, including the human beings, we are going to study about the entire natural regions of the land. And the entire world, that is the earth, it is divided into this natural region. As I said, there are 13 important natural regions, but in our 7th standard, we are going to study about 9 natural regions. So let us understand what are these natural regions. For this, once again, on your screen, this is the meaning. What do you mean by natural region? The similarities of climate, vegetation and animal life in different continents that spread between certain latitude. As this region stand out on the basis of natural factors, they are called as natural regions. So you have to understand and keep in mind the meaning of natural region. So which are the natural regions of the world, or which natural regions are we going to study? So we are going to study about tundra region. We are going to study about the taiga region. We will study grassland. There are 2 types of grassland. First one is the steppes and the prairies. Then we are going to study the hot desert regions of the world. We will study regarding the second type of grassland, the tropical type of grassland region, or which is also called as the Sudan type of grassland region. And last but not the least, the equatorial region of the world. You can see the latitudinal extremes also. So these are the 6 different natural regions what we are going to study in our first part. So let us begin with our first natural region. And our first natural region is the tundra region. Now, tundra region, as you can see, is located between 65 degree to 90 degree parallel, that is towards the poles, right? And which are the areas of the tundra region? You have the Greenland, you have the North Canada, Northern Europe and Northern Asia. Then the climatic condition of the tundra region is mean summer temperature, that is it is 10 degrees Celsius. That means, see, even if it is summer, it is cold over there. And mean winter is always minus 20 to minus 30. That means imagine what will be the condition in the winter season. We cannot survive over there, right? Right? And annual rainfall is only from 25 to 300 millimeters. That means there is no rainfall as per what rainfall we receive in our region. So this tundra region is very, very cold region. So the main seasons are summer and winter, spring and autumn. Spring and fall are also for the short period. So you can see Alaska in one side, on the other side you have the Lake Charles, that is a national park. So these are the different things of tundra region, the location and climate. Then you have the natural vegetation of tundra region, where you have short vegetable life. So you can see the mosses, lichen, slate which are grown over there. Then animals which are found, polar bear, foxes, walrus, seals, okay, various types of animals, you can read it out. Then human life, hunting and fishing is important over there. People use hide sledges to travel, igloos and tents, that is tupik, what it is called, are used, okay. Then Eskimos are the people who are there, and population is very, very less in this region. So we will stop over here with this part 1 and we will continue with part 2. So lesson 6 part 2, let us continue. Stay